Hello, I'm Anuroopa and I'm here to discuss the topic sentences. A sentence is a basic unit of any language which expresses a complete thought. It must have all the words in the proper sequence to convey its meaning. Now let's look at the following groups of words. Ram working is, office and in. The next one, ate apple and I. Can we call these sentences? No, because they have no meaning. The words are not arranged in the proper order to convey its meaning. But when the same words are rearranged in a different order, it becomes meaningful. Let's see. Ram is working in an office. I ate an apple. Yes, these are sentences. The words are arranged in the proper order to make complete sense. A sentence is a group of meaningful words put together to convey something. If you want to convey that you want to go to the store, you can say, I am going to the store. The combination of words in the sentences should be in the proper order to convey the meaning. Every sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a punctuation mark, specifically a full stop, a question mark or an exclamation mark. Now let's try to identify the sentences. The clown, is it a sentence? No, it does not give the proper meaning that it has to convey, so we cannot call it a sentence. I have a pet parrot. Yes, it is a sentence. It makes complete sense. It starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Are you going to swim? This is also meaningful. The first word R has a capital A and the sentence ends in a punctuation mark. So this is also a sentence. Amit wrote. Can we call this a sentence? No, because it has no meaning. It does not convey the proper meaning that it has to convey. So we cannot call it a sentence. Now let's look at the parts of a sentence. A sentence is divided into two parts, the subject and the predicate. Now what is subject and predicate? A subject is the person, place or thing that we are talking about in the sentence, or it tells us who or what the sentence is about. The subject in the sentence can be a noun or a pronoun. A predicate tells us about the subject in the sentence. It tells us what a subject is or what it does. It gives more information about the subject. Consider this sentence. A cat is sitting at the door. How do we find the subject and the predicate of this sentence? For that, first you have to identify the verb in the sentence. Now what is the verb in this sentence? It is sitting. Now ask a question, who or what to the verb. So if I ask a question, who is sitting at the door or what is sitting at the door, what is the answer that I get? It is a cat and not simply cat. It is because the article a modifies the noun cat. Hence, the entire part, that is a cat, is the subject of this sentence. Now, how do we find the predicate? To find the predicate, look for what the subject is doing. So, what is the subject cat doing here? Is sitting at the door. So, is sitting at the door is the predicate of this sentence. Note that is sitting, the verb, is contained in the predicate part of the sentence. Consider this sentence. Akhil and Rohit study in the same school. Here, which is the verb? It is study. Now, we have to ask a question, who or what to the verb. So, who study in the same school? The answer is Akhil and Rohit. So, Akhil and Rohit is the subject of this sentence. Now, what are we left with? Study in the same school. It gives information about the subject. So, study in the same school is the predicate of the sentence. It gives information about the subject. Now, consider this sentence. She has a cute puppy. Here, the verb is has. Now, if I ask a question, what has a cute puppy? Do I have an answer? No. If I ask, who has a cute puppy? The answer is she. So, she is the subject of this sentence. We have already discussed that the subject in the sentence can be a noun or a pronoun. In this case, the subject is she, which is a pronoun. Now, the rest of the sentence, that is, has a cute puppy, tells us the information about the subject. So, that is the predicate of the sentence. Now, let's look at the types of sentences. The sentences are divided into 4 types depending on how they are being conveyed. The first type is the declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. Now, let's look at the first type of sentence, which is the declarative sentence. A sentence that makes a simple statement or states a fact or an opinion is called a declarative sentence. Or we can say that they are simple statements which relay an information. And declarative sentence is the most common type of sentence used in the English language. Declarative sentences end with a full stop. Now, let's look at some examples. I am 10 years old. Aman is a voracious reader. The clothes that are lying there are old. A rainbow has 7 colors. All these sentences state a fact or an opinion. It tells us about something, or they let us know something specific. Such kinds of sentences are called declarative sentences. Consider these 2 sentences. This is a red balloon. This is not a blue balloon. Both sentences state a fact about the balloon that you see here. And the sentences written about the balloon are certainly true. So, we can call both these sentences declarative sentences. But there is a slight difference between the 2. When we say this is a red balloon, it is a positive statement. When I say this is not a blue balloon, the word not in the sentence makes it negative. When we have no or not in the sentence is said to be a negative sentence. So, this is a red balloon is a positive declarative sentence. This is not a blue balloon is a negative declarative sentence. Positive declarative sentence is also known as affirmative sentence, and negative declarative sentence is known as negative sentence. So, declarative sentences are further divided into 2, affirmative sentence and negative sentence. Now, let's try to identify the type of declarative sentences. It was raining. It gives an information which is positive. So, this sentence is called an affirmative sentence. I haven't done my homework. Haven't is the contraction of have not. So we have the word not in this sentence, which makes it negative. So this sentence is a negative sentence. Adil will be back tomorrow. This is a sentence which is positive. It's a simple statement. So it is an affirmative sentence. I have no parrot. When we have no or not in the sentence, it is a negative sentence. Now the next type of sentence is the interrogative sentence. A sentence that asks a question is called an interrogative sentence, and interrogative sentences end in a question mark. Now let's look at few examples. Are you feeling hungry? When did you come? Does Annie like to drink milk? How are you? All these sentences ask us something. And you can notice that all the sentences end in a question mark. Such type of sentences are called interrogative sentences. Now the next type, imperative sentence. A sentence that expresses a command, a request or an advice is called an imperative sentence. It ends with either a full stop or an exclamation mark. When there is a strong emotion or feeling associated with a command or request, the sentence ends in an exclamation mark. Otherwise, the sentence ends with full stop. Usually, the subject is not mentioned in such kind of sentences, but it is understood. Now, let's consider some examples. Shut the door. This is a command, or you can call it order. Please hand me that book. This is a request. Don't ever lie. This is an advice. We've already discussed that a sentence has a subject and a verb in it. But what about these sentences? Do these sentences have a subject in it? Then why are they called sentences? It is because the subject you in these sentences are not stated, but it is implied. When I say shut the door, actually I mean to say you shut the door. You in the sentence is hidden. Now when I say please hand me that book, here also I mean to say you please hand me the book. Here also the subject you is not mentioned, but it is understood. The next one, don't ever lie. Here also the subject you is hidden. It is even though it is not stated, but it is implied. Up till now, we have discussed imperative sentences ending in a full stop. Now, let's look at the next one. Get out of this room right now. This is an imperative sentence ending in an exclamation mark. It is because there is a strong feeling or emotion associated with this command. That is why it ends in an exclamation mark. Now, the next type of sentence is an exclamatory sentence. A sentence that shows strong or sudden feelings is called an exclamatory sentence. It is used to express strong emotions like fear, anger, excitement, happiness, anxiety, and so on. Exclamatory sentences end with an exclamation mark. Let's consider these examples. What a scary movie it is. Here, the emotion of fear is expressed. This food tastes terrible. Here, the person is so disgusted about the food that is served for him. So here, the feeling of disgust is expressed. How delicious the fruit cake is. So the feeling of happiness is expressed in this sentence. What a tall building. Here the emotion of surprise is expressed. You can note that all these sentences end with an exclamation mark. Now that you've studied the different types of sentences, try to identify a few. May I borrow that book? It asks for something. It ends in a question mark. So this sentence is an interrogative sentence. It was a warm sunny day. It is a sentence which tells us something. It tells a fact. So this sentence is a declarative sentence. How beautiful the city is. This sentence ends in an exclamation mark. So it is an exclamatory sentence. Clean your room. This is an order. So it is an imperative sentence. It won't rain today. This is a sentence which tells us something, which gives us an information. So it's a declarative sentence. You may note that the word won't is the contraction of will not. So this is also a negative sentence. Now let's summarize the points discussed today. A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. A sentence has got two parts, the subject and the predicate. The four types of sentences are declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence and exclamatory sentence. Thus, we have come to the end of this session. Thank you very much.